and welcome to today's edition of Cafe Diversity. As always, I'm your host, Sarah Nada. Today's show is brought to you by WCG-TV and Westman Immigrant Services. Today I've got a very special guest with me. If you could please just give us a little introduction so our viewers know who you are.
Well, I'm Celia and I'm from Spain.
Okay.
And I came here in a program that is a scholarship for study in Canada.
Okay.
For a year.
About a year? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when did you come to Canada?
I came like 6 months ago.
Okay.
It was at the end of August.
Okay. So it was still cold. Yeah, it's still been pretty cold here. All right. It does get warmer, I promise. I promise.
Okay, I trust you.
Okay, so why did you said you came here through school, right?
Yeah.
So it's in like an exchange program then?
Yeah, like I come here and stay for a year and then I will come back to my country.
Go back to Spain? Okay. So how does your school decide where in Canada you go? Do you know that?
Well, actually it's not by my school.
Okay.
It's about a foundation that gives scholarships to 100 people in Spain.
Okay.
So they hire an organization that makes exchange between Canada and Spain.
Okay.
So they are the ones who decide where to go.
Okay. So you had no idea you were coming here until they said, here you go, Brandon, Manitoba.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you heard of Brandon, Manitoba before?
No, actually, I've never heard of it when I came.
Well, welcome. We enjoy having you here. So what made you decide to take part in the exchange program?
Well, like, I've always wanted to travel the world, and I also wanted to improve my English and discover new cultures and new ways of life.
Okay. So you said you came here at the end of August, so right around when school started, and you're here for a school year, right?
Yeah.
So you'll go back home to Spain at the end of June?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you ever been to Canada before, or is this your first trip?
No, this is my first trip to
Okay,
Canada.
this is your very first trip.
Yeah.
Good. So not all of Canada is this cold. Manitoba is probably the coldest place I've ever lived. I've lived in Ontario and Alberta, and Manitoba, it takes the cake. But it does get warmer. Have you gone anywhere outside of Brandon yet, or have you mostly just stayed in town?
Well, I've been in Winnipeg a couple of times,
Okay.
and well, when I came here, we stopped. We made a change of plane in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it. Do you have any plans to see any more of Canada while you're here?
Yeah, I'd like to, but I don't know if I will be able to because of the school and that stuff.
Right. March break is coming up. I believe it happens in March. That's why they call it March break. So it's usually a week long. And I'm not sure if you have something like that in Spain or not. Do you guys have a break like
Yeah,
that?
for us it's called the Holy Week.
Okay.
Well, that will be it, and it's a week where, like, there are processions with saints and that stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's like a kind of like a holiday.
Yeah.
It's very special. Okay. We just have March break to give our students a break from studying their brains out so much because it's hard to be a student. So maybe if you get the chance, depending on how it all works out, maybe you can see more of Canada while you're here. So while you're here in Canada, do you stay with like a host family?
Yeah. I'm staying with a whole family, and they live up in forest.
Okay. Now, what I understand for an exchange is someone comes here and then we send someone there. Is that how this program works, or is it a bit different?
No, this program works like I just come here and that's it. No one comes back with me.
No one gets to go to Spain? That's too bad. That's okay. How is your host family selected? Do you know?
I think that they had to do an exam.
Okay.
And then someone goes and see how their houses are and make sure that we will be good with that family. And they also have like a test to be who will do fit with.
Right. So you want to make sure your personalities fit together, kind of a thing. You're staying with them for quite a long period of time.
Yeah.
With the family that you're staying with, do they speak any Spanish or do they only speak English?
They just speak English, but they know like a few words in Spanish. So.
Are you teaching them while you're here?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Is that fun? Mm-hmm. I bet that's fun. We do have, I don't know if you know or not, but Brandon, Manitoba, we do have quite a large Spanish-speaking population, but most of our people are from South America, so El Salvador, Honduras, Colombia. We've got some people from Bolivia who are here, Chile, all kinds of places, Costa Rica. If I can think of them all, there's just so many. So you won't be alone. If you want to find people to speak Spanish with, I'm sure you'll be able to find some. Now, I understand that right now you're job shadowing here at the studio. So how did that come about?
Well, my school has like a program of job shadowing.
Okay.
And I'm interested in communications, TV, cinema, that stuff.
Oh, yeah?
So I asked if they could set me up with something like that.
Oh, okay. So you asked them.
Yeah, well,
oh, cool.
we have the chance of choose which careers we would like to go and try. So they set me up here and...
Cool. Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And I believe when we spoke before, you said you started yesterday. You were here on Monday. Are you enjoying it so far? You having some fun? That's good.
Fun.
Now, what can you tell us about Spain?
Well, it's a warmer country than Canada, but it gets cold. Not as much, but yeah, it gets cold sometimes. And we get the snow in the mountains sometimes. It's fine. And, well, I actually wouldn't know where to start to talk about.
Lots of things, right, to talk about Spain. So Spain has some mountains. See, I didn't know that. I thought all of Spain was flat, to be honest, because I've never been there before, and I haven't heard a lot about it. So that's interesting. What kind of I guess jobs are popular in Spain? Are there a lot of people who work in one industry, or?
Well, there's a lot of variety when it comes to jobs, but I guess that what people is more interested right now will be like to become a lawyer or something to do with economics, or that could be it. Okay,
so. We know this is the first time you've ever been to Canada. Is this the first time you've ever been away from your family for such a long time?
Well, I've been away from them like for a couple of weeks, just one, but not that much.
Not for a whole year? No. How does your family feel about you coming to a whole other country without them?
Well, it took a long time to convince my mom, to be honest. But, well, they're dealing good because we can talk via Skype and we keep in contact, so it's not that bad.
That's good. Are you homesick yet?
Not really.
Not really? Well, that's good.
Yeah, sometimes I miss my home, but, well, I'm okay.
Not enough to cry too much about it, right? It's like, oh, I miss my mom. Like your mom's cooking or your dad's cooking, maybe you might miss. Parent cooking is always the best. They just know how to do it. So if you were to say two things that you like about Canada, you like them, what do you think they would be?
Well, I like how people is to another. Like, there's a stereotype that in Canada, a lot of people is nice, like everybody. And, well, pretty much everybody that I met here is nice.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good thing. Well, I actually also like how everything is covered by snow.
Oh, yeah?
I get the snow, but not that much. So
okay.
I like it.
Okay, it's interesting. A lot of people are like, oh, snow. What is that? Make it go away. All right, it's interesting. Thank you very much. Now, if you were to say two things that you don't like about Canada, what do you think that would be?
Well, I don't like that everything is so far away from another place. Like, for example, in my hometown, I can walk to my best friend's house just by like 50 steps or so. And here, if I want to go to somebody's place, I have to take a car or something, or
Or a
get someone
bus
to
or
drive
something,
me,
yeah.
or that will be one thing that I don't really like.
Okay.
And I don't know. I actually think that's pretty much it.
Oh,
that
well,
I
that's
like.
good. That's good. Yeah, it is very spread out here. You will find, because you've only really been to Brandon and Winnipeg, Brandon is very spread out in comparison to a lot of Canadian cities. Where I'm from in Ontario, I've grown up in very small towns where you walk 5 steps and that's your school, there's your friend's house and things like that. So maybe if you get the chance to see more of Canada, you'll get to go to some cities and towns where maybe it's a bit more compact, like you're used to, right? Everything is within reach, so you can get to it. That's good. Now, is there any place you wish that you could see while you're here in Canada?
I actually not sure because there are so many places in Canada that are interesting, like for example the Niagara Falls or the Great Lakes or something like that.
So are you interested in a lot of like environmental things? Like you like those kinds of landmarks sorts of things? Yeah. Okay, interesting. And you said you go back to Spain in June. Now while you're here in Canada, and you're going to school, does it count? It counts for school back in Spain, so it's not like you'll be a year behind?
Oh no, like it convalidates with what I'm doing now, but I have to be careful with what I take, so that way it will be helpful next year, because I'm not studying nothing like what I will study in my country. So that will be like a huge problem if I didn't study something more similar.
Okay. So what sort of things then do you study in Spain? You said you're in about, we would call it Canadian grade 11, is what you're in? So what sort of things are you studying?
It depends on what I choose because we spread our studies in grade 11 and 12. We focus that on a field that we like to.
Okay.
So I could choose science, arts, or something that we call like will be like literature.
Okay.
So I will be studying the part of literature that includes history, economics, literature, and some stuff like that.
Okay. Now, is this to help you prepare for university or college?
Yeah, it's like focusing on the fields that you may like more. So that way you study courses that will be more similar than the courses that you will get in college.
Okay. So do you have university and college in Spain, or is it one or the other? Do you know what you call it?
I think that it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I just call it university.
Okay. So you're planning to go to university? It's your major goal?
Yeah.
That's good. It's good to have an idea of what you want to do. I mean, when I went to university, I had no idea what I was doing. No idea at all. So I'm very impressed that you have a plan in place, and that's really good. Do you have, with your family that's back home in Spain, do you have siblings? Or?
Yeah, I've got a younger sister.
Oh, younger, so you're the oldest one.
Yeah.
You have to set the example, right?
I try.
That's good. Okay. I guess that's really all I have to ask of you today. Is there anything that you would like to add?
I actually don't know.
No? You think you're good? You've told us enough about Spain and everything like that and your experience here in Canada? Okay, good. Well, I'm happy to hear that we've been nice and friendly and we've lived up to that stereotype. I will accept that. It's a good one. And yeah, well, thank you very much for coming on the show today, and thank you very much for sharing your experience here. I didn't even know that there was an exchange program like this in Brandon. I've not lived here for very long, so it's quite interesting that things like this happen. Great, thank you. All right, so that's been our show for today. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. As always, today's show has been brought to you by WCG TV and Westman Immigrant Services. Thank you very much and have a good day.